Are you a podcaster or streamer looking for a budget-friendly, no-frills audio interface? Today, I'm checking out the Fifine SC1, which is a one-channel audio interface that lists for $54.99, so $55. I'll give you my thoughts on the interface after testing it out and whether it should be on your short list. And stick around to the end when I share my choice for the best one mic interface under $50. In full transparency, Fifine did send me this audio interface for me to review. They won't see the video before I publish it. They don't have any say or control over the content or what's said here. So, in other words, even though Fifine sent this to me for free, I'm not letting that bias me towards the product. And honestly, after this review, they may not want to work with me again. I'll provide affiliate links in the description below, but enough of that. Let's talk about the interface. At first, let's start with the price. At $55, there aren't many options out there. The primary competitors with the list price similar to this are the Behringer Euphoria UM1, which is about $45, and the UMC 22, which is about $55. Then we have the M Audio M-Track Solo, which is around $50. I'm not familiar enough with those interfaces, so I can't really comment on how they compare. I'm just letting you know what else is out there at this price point. So what you get in the box, you get the interface itself, which looks kind of like this. And you get a USB cable, which has, it's USB-C, but it also has a USB-A adapter. And the camera does not want to focus on that. Oh well. But it just attaches on like that. Now it decides to focus. And you get the instruction manual. The interface comes with a 2-year warranty. This seems to be a class-compliant USB device, so on Macs, it doesn't need any drivers, and it looks like it's the same on PC, though I cannot confirm that. I'm not a PC user. And while we're on the topic, it's worth noting that this interface doesn't include effects or loopback functionality. But let's really start to look into the interface itself and its specs. Usually, I feel specs aren't terribly important in audio interfaces, but when we're talking about this price range, I feel like we absolutely need to talk about them. Frequency response, this is pretty standard at 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. The signal to noise ratio is greater than 75 dB. Most interfaces list a specific number, so let's keep that in the back of our head. The conversion is 16-bit with a choice between 44.1 and 48 kilohertz, and this provides 80 dB of dynamic range. And this is where these things start to matter. While 16-bit 48K is more than fine for playback, when it comes to recording, it's not that great. 16 bits, it just gives you less headroom before clipping, and you have to contend with the noise floor, so gain staging is crucial to getting good recordings. And if you or someone you're recording is a dynamic speaker or there's a lot of laughing, you might find yourself clipping. You might also be dealing with more noise in your recordings if you need to boost your levels, which is usually almost always necessary for podcasts. Looking at the interface, the front has your combo XLR TRS input. Next to that, you have the 48-volt phantom power button and a button to switch between mic and instrument mode for the combo input. Next, you get a second input. This one is a TRS input labeled Instrument 2, which I assume is a high Z input for connecting a guitar or bass directly. Then you have a 1/4-inch headphone port and headphone volume knob. Finally, you have a direct monitor button to switch between the two modes, computer audio only and computer audio mixed with the interface's inputs. Switching to the back of the interface, you get two 1/4-inch TRS outputs, a USB-C port, and a Kensington lock. On the top of the interface, you have your gain controls for inputs 1 and 2, as well as an output volume control if you have speakers connected. And on the bottom, you get 4 rubber pads to keep the interface from moving around on your desk. Now, let's talk about the build quality of the interface. It's pretty much what you'd expect at this price point. It's a cheapish feeling plasticky box with knobs and buttons. It feels sturdy. There's not a bunch of play in anything. The knobs on the top feel nice and sturdy. There's not a lot of wobble. But on the front, the headphone knob has a lot of play in it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a lot of play there. The buttons, they have a nice solid click when you engage them and disengage them. The knobs, when you adjust them, they feel smooth. But one little complaint I have is the interface itself, it's not fully flat. Like when you set it on your desk, it rocks just a little bit if you put pressure on it, sort of like if you have a table that isn't quite level. So moving on to the mic preamp, you get 50 dB of gain. Right out of the gate, this is not going to work with the Shure SM7B, which needs at least 60 dB of gain. You could probably use a preamp booster like a Fathead or use an SM7DB, but you may still be dealing with noise because preamps tend to get noisier as you get closer to their max. This could be an issue with really any dynamic mics, but may not be much of an issue with mini condensers, which they tend to require less gain, but you need to be aware that condensers, due to their sensitivity, need to be used in acoustically treated spaces. Now, let's look at the headphone amp. I got some noise using my Allo Audio S4X headphones, similar to what I get with those headphones when connected to the Rodecaster Duo. But the noise from the SC1 isn't nearly as loud, but it's just enough to be annoying if I have the headphones on and no audio is being played. This tends to be more of an issue when using high sensitivity headphones with interfaces that use cheaper headphone amps. If you're not using high sensitivity headphones, this probably isn't going to be an issue for you. And hopefully, if you're looking at purchasing an interface at this price point, you already understand that you're going to be compromising on features in favor of cost. And I understand that sometimes this is a choice we have to make. I feel that there's at least one viable alternative, which I'll talk about in a minute. Overall, the Fifine SC1, it's a solid, no-frills audio interface. At this price point, you'll be hard-pressed to find other interfaces that outperform it. All the sub-$60 interfaces I've looked at, they're all 16-bit with sample rates of 44.1 or 48K. They all suffer from low mic gain and probably also suffer from cheap headphone amps. I was hoping I'd feel this was similar to their K688 mic, which is affordable, but compares well against mics that cost multiple times what it does. But this interface really only competes with its own competition. So, do I recommend this interface to podcasters and live streamers? Probably not. I think at this price point, you get what you pay for, and I'd recommend saving a little more and getting an interface at the next tier level. You'd typically be looking at $150 to $200 for a 1 or 2 mic interface. These would give you more headroom from 24-bit recording and give you more gain for your mics. And these are both critical for anybody recording with dynamic mics like many podcasters do. There just isn't enough preamp gain here, and the preamps are going to be fairly noisy once you adjust your levels. But there is one exception here. If you can find a Focusrite Vocaster on sale, you will not find a better interface for the money. Focusrite's been blowing these out for the last couple of years. As we're heading into Black Friday 2025, I'm seeing the Vocasters down at $39 and $69 respectively, which are incredible deals, and they will blow any other sub-$100 audio interface out of the water. You get a better preamp with over 70 dB of gain. You get auto gain, which sets the gain for you. You get enhancement tools like EQ and compression, a mute button. You can connect your phone and your camera, or you can connect your phone and then output the audio into your camera. And if you're looking for a killer budget audio interface for content creation, the Focusrite Vocasters are absolute steals. Here's a video where I talk about the Vocaster 2 and compare it to the Focusrite 2i2. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.